Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Mathematics JEE. So this is the question number 15 here. It is saying for any continuous function if defined from open 0 to infinity, okay. So for positive x we are working on, then it is defined to all real numbers. Define R alpha as xy, okay, this region. So this is basically a region in xy plane, right? R alpha, and S alpha is similarly defined where r square defined r cross r, okay. So it defines the xy plane. Let S be the set of all continuous functions f defined from this to this, for which the area of the region r alpha is equal to S alpha for all alpha belonging to this interval, okay. So we are given this two region, okay, like this. So let's say this is our xy plane, and this is the line x equal to 1, and let's say this is the line x equal to alpha, and this is the line x equal to alpha square, where alpha is greater than equal to 1, right? So we have this function. Now see, this function is positive, right? So 0 less than equal to y less than equal to fx means it is positive function in this interval. So the graph of y equal to fx will be above this x-axis, right? So we have like this. Let's say this is our y equal to fx. So we can see here r alpha is the area, or we can say this area of the region r alpha is the area bounded by y equal to fx, x equal to 1, and x equal to alpha, right? So like this. And let's say this is x equal to alpha square, means the area of the region s alpha is equal to the area bounded by the curve y equal to fx, x equal to alpha, and x equal to alpha square. So like this. So we are told that for this function f, r alpha and s alpha have the same area. That means we can say, as this fx is a positive function, we can directly integrate. So 1 to alpha integral f of x dx is equal to integral alpha to alpha square f of x dx, right? So we can see here it is actually a equation in this alpha, right? Here alpha is variable, x is not variable, okay, because the left side will be a function of this alpha, and also the right hand side will also be a function of this variable alpha. That means we can differentiate both sides with respect to this alpha, as this is an identity for this function f, right? It is told in the question statement that S be the set of all continuous functions for which this is equal to this for all alpha. So we can say if we differentiate both side, we get, we are differentiating both side with respect to this alpha, okay. So by using Leibniz rule, we can say this left hand side will be f of alpha, and this will be f of alpha square times 2 alpha. So 2 alpha f of alpha square minus this will be f of alpha, right? So we have from here 2 f of alpha is equal to, this will be 2 alpha f of alpha square. So we can cancel this 2 here. Now how to solve this functional equation? This is a functional equation, right? In variable alpha, or we can replace this variable with x, okay. So f of x is x f of x square, right? Now we can actually multiply both sides with this x, right? Because x is positive here. In the question it says f is defined from uh, open 0 to open infinity to real numbers. That means x is positive. So that means we can say if we multiply both sides by x, we get an interesting functional equation. So for some time, let us call this LHS as some gx, okay. So we can say this functional equation states that gx is equal to g of x square, right? This gx is x fx. So g of x square will be x square fx square, right? So these both quantities are equal. That means this relation holds true for all x, right? All x positive x, right? So we can say this gx must be a constant function. Then only it would be infinite under this transformation x to x square, right? So g of x will be g of x square for all x belong to this open 0 to open infinity, right? So we can say here that g of x will be some constant for all x. That means this fx must be of the form c divided by x, where c is some constant. And this c we have to find out by the information given in the question statement. Okay. So for example, here in question 15, it is said for x belongs to the set of real numbers, let greatest integer x be the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Let f belonging to s such that f1 equal to 4. Okay. So f of 1 is c, right? So c is equal to 4. If the area of the region R10 is equal to A, then greatest integer alpha is equal to what? So we can say this R10 will be nothing but integral 1 to 10, then f of x dx, right? So f of x is 4 divided by x. That means this integral will be simply, let me change the color here. Okay. So this integral will be 4 outside, then integral 1 by x dx. So it will be log x from 1 to 10. That means 4 log 10, right? So we have to find the greatest integer of this. That means greatest integer of 4 log 10 will be almost equal to, if we calculate log 10, we all know this is a very standard value we have to remember, especially in chemistry, right? This is equal to 2.303, so on, right? So we can find the value of this 4 log 10, which is equal to, if we calculate, it will be 9.2 something, right? So greatest integer of 4 log 10 will be 9. So our correct answer in this case will be 9, right? So let us do the second question of this paragraph, which is related to this f of x here. It is saying for f belonging to s such that f of 1 equal to 1, let g be defined as follows. Okay, gx is limit n tending to infinity integral 1 by x to n f square t cos t dt for any x greater than 0. Okay, and g0 is equal to 0. Then the value of limit h tending to 0, g of 1 by pi minus g of 1 by pi plus h divided by h equals 1. So we can write this gx here. Okay, gx will be limit n tending to infinity, then 1 by x to n integral f square t cos t dt, right? So we can actually find this limit here by using the concept of differentiation, right? Because we know this is nothing but the definition of derivative at x equal to 1 by pi. So if we change this into this form, right, we multiply by a minus, so it will be g of 1 by pi plus h minus g of 1 by pi divided by h, right, with limit tending to 0, h tending to 0. So this is nothing but minus g dash 1 by pi. So we have to find this value, right? Now how to find this? We can apply Leibniz rule. But how can we apply Leibniz rule on this infinite limit, right? This limit is tending to infinite. So how can we apply Leibniz rule? So we can do a trick here, that we can split this integral into two parts. Okay, we can pick this some, let's say x greater than pi. Okay, so we take this point x greater than pi as some constant. Okay, so we can select 4, for example, c equal to 4. Okay, we can take c equal to 4, so we can split this integral from 1 by x to 4, then 4 to this n, right? So 1 by x to 4, let's say, then it will be f square t, then cos t dt plus then this limit. Okay, limit n tending to infinity 4 to this n f square t cos t dt. So now we can differentiate both sides with respect to this variable x by using Leibniz rule. That means we get g dash x will be, this we can easily differentiate by using Leibniz rule. It will be minus here, because this first term will be 0, differentiation of 4 is 0. So then minus this will be f square of 1 by x times cos of 1 by x times the derivative of this 1 by x. That means minus 1 by x square. So overall 1 by x square, right? And plus, now what will be this differentiation, right? This, if we tend limit n towards infinity, this will be overall a constant term, right? Because we know this will be a definite integral. Yes, it will be not a proper integral. We define this as an improper integral whenever the limits are tending to infinity, right? But this will be altogether a constant. That means the derivative will be equal to 0. So we can say here that g dash x is equal to this. Now g dash of 1 by pi, if we try to find, it will be, we can simply put 1 by pi here. So it will be pi square times f square of 1 by x. That means f of 1 by x whole square. So f of x we already calculated, it is equal to c by x. Note that this c is changed here, right? Because this here we are given f of 1 equal to 1, that means c is equal to 1. So f of x is simply 1 by x. That means it will be, if we calculate f of 1 by x, it will be x. So x square will give us 1 by pi square, right? Times cos of, it will be pi, that means minus 1. So this means that minus g dash of 1 by pi will be equal to 1. So in this case, we have this 1 as the correct answer for this problem, right? So this is how we solve this paragraph.